Hey everybody, Scout Crafter here again. It's Monday, Mishmash Monday. I'm filming this actually a little bit early because I don't know if I'm going to have any residual effects from the second COVID shot. I mean, if I get sick or something, I don't want to, delay the video. So I'm going to make it ahead of time and hope and pray that I don't get really any side effects from the second shot, which some people have been complaining about. So with that, the first thing I want to talk about today is as you know, I'm kind of a little bit of a sucker for gadgets, and I saw something on one of these advertisements, and I ordered it, and it's not too related, but let's check it out and see what it is. Okay, so what this is, it's a sound activated, it's a small mechanical bird, and you know how I love my birds, so there's a little activating here, and watch this when you tap, or it makes a noise. He flaps his wings and he moves his nose, and I just have it temporarily mounted. Isn't that pretty cool? And to turn it off, there's a little button here, and that turns it off. And it runs on 3 AA batteries, and you can see here it's plastic and whatnot, but it was I think it was $19. Anyway, I had to have it. And it comes in different colors, the bird, and it's just fantastic. It's amazing what they can do today. What you just witnessed was a very crude yet sophisticated automaton. Automatons were almost robots, and they were big in the 17th and 18th centuries, and they go, Leonardo da Vinci actually made one, but they have gone back, and they were really big in the early 1900s, and they were mechanical, and there was all different types. Germany was known for making these birds that were in cages that they sounded real and they looked real. They actually had real bird feathers on them and things like that, and it was amazing. And they go for big money now. I've been keeping an eye open for one for a long time, and within your price range, it's hard to find. But this was kind of a modern example of an automaton, and it was priced very reasonable. So that's why I enjoyed it, and I'll have a link in the description if you want to pick one up or you think it might be something interesting. Okay, next up, I can't tell you how many people have been asking me lately. They say, how can I just clean up a tool? I don't want to go through the whole polish. This what we do here on the channel is, I don't do this to all my tools that I use. 90% of my tools are not restored, but this is just, what we do for fun here. It's a hobby. But they all ask me, say, is there a way I can just clean up my tool and make it look good, whatever the case may be, or what I use to do that? Let me show you real quick. Now, for 99% of your tools, that you're going to use every time, you just might want to clean it up and make it look presentable and keep it from rusting or getting and not taking away any value. Here's a perfect example. This is a Stanley number 110 plane. It's a little hand plane. And you can see here it's in nice shape, no rust on it or anything. But, how do you preserve it? How do you keep it like this and, looking good? Well, first of all, we could do a little bit better here with the shine just to get it, so it looks all right. But if there was any rust on here at all, I would take it to the wire brush. There is none. With this kind of casting, it's always good with fiber wheel. Works really good on these. So we'll take a little bit of that. We'll clean it up. And the first thing we'll do is we'll take it apart, wipe all the parts down, and it's a good thing to give it a little wipe down. You can use WD-40 or anything, but we'll first start with that and clean it up. Now, it doesn't really get much simpler than this, but the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to clean everything up. And you see in here's where you got to worry, because, a lot of times with casting, rust begins in here, and you can see it's starting a little bit there. So we got to nip it in the bud right there. And then we'll clean everything up. And I like to do it. You could do it if it's oily or greasy, you use the 50-50, but for woodworking tools, the WD-40 makes a great cleaner. Let's wipe it down. Okay, you see this is a little bit of staining under here, okay? That's not bad, but this is where you use the fiber wheel. If you want to get rid of that staining and clean it up real nice, you go over it real quick and it comes out with the staining on the blade, okay? Okay, this is what the fiber wheel does. You can see the difference here. You see it gets rid of all that staining. You can also go over it afterwards with a buffer. Waxing in the bottom of a plane is always a good idea because it makes it nice and smooth. But you see the difference just the fiber wheel makes. And we'll go over all the raw material except for the palm swell. And here we go. We just did our quick cleanup. We covered everything. Now you see how nice it comes out and nice and smooth. It's still got the original casting marks. This is cast iron, you know. And over here we did the blade again with the fiber wheel, but you can hit this with a little bit of polish or wax. And the last part here you have to do with a polish. You do not want to take this. This is nickel on here, and nickel finishes are not durable. So what you want to do is you want to use your flitz. Would be perfect for this. I happen to use a this I've got in a service about 30 years ago, so I still have a half a can. That's why I use that. But use your polish on this and get this nice and clean. And then for here, this is Japanning, okay? To keep this nice and clean and look shiny, I'm going to use my 50/50 Vaseline and mineral oil. Now the absolute beauty of using the 50/50, you can see here, this is 50/50 mineral oil and Vaseline. And what's so nice about it, petroleum jelly is Vaseline, but what's so nice about it is when you wipe this on here like this, okay, and then you wipe it off with a paper towel, this will leave a lasting finish. You can put on the cast iron, you can put everything, and then when you wipe it off, it'll fill in all those microscopic pores, and this is a great rust inhibitor. And I've been using it for years. It's super cheap to make. 50/50, I have a video on how to make that. So let's wipe everything down and put it together. Now you know my favorite part. Remember what this plane looked like before we cleaned it up. And there we go. That's a perfect cleanup here. You don't have to worry about rust now. And the beauty of this 50/50, not the 50/50 acetone and transmission. This is the mineral oil and the petroleum jelly. The beauty of that is it's safe for your hands. It makes them softer, and you can wipe it on. There's nothing like wiping down a tool with some oil with your bare hands, but you can't trust anything but this 50/50. So you can see it's all protected now, and now this is good enough to put, and even if you wanted to put it in the garage or something, this 50/50 really protects it. I use it on all my tools that are upstate. I really highly recommend, and this is just a typical Now, the only thing bad about the 50/50, it is a bit of a dust collector because, you know, it goes on there, it creates a film, and the dust does get attracted to it. So if you're going to do a tool like that plane, just stick it in an old sock and put it on your shelf, and you don't have to worry about the dust or something. Anyway, next up, everybody was asking, they say, oh, you got to do a Resto Rob screwdriver. So let's get that done real quick. There's only one part that's a little different. Now, Resto Rob sent this beautiful screwdriver in. There's very little to do on it, but we're just going to do a quick cleanup because we put it down here. But first of all, over this, I guess where it said Taiwan, there's a little bit of rust there. But here, look at the back here. Do you see this? That can be a problem, right? That cap. And we can't take that cap off because it's molded in there. You see that? It's molded with the plastic coming through there. So that's meant to stay on there. So we're going to have to work around it. But remember what that cap looks like. And this always cleans up nice. So now, if you look real close, you'll see the edge here. Right around the edge with the plastic. You can see it's got some gunk, some dry paint. I don't know what that is. But the edge of the belt will naturally touch that. So that'll clean that up. You just got to go very slow. And we're calling this project done. This was such a nice little project because everybody loves this translucent green color. And look, you know, we polished everything out here, brought it back to the original finish. And as far as the name here, again, I believe it says Taiwan up here. We got rid of all the rust and everything. But here's my what I'm most proud of. Remember this cap. Now, remember what that cap looked like before. And you can see here we did it in an almost mirror polish. So you do remember what that looked like before compared to what it looks like now. So that's always a nice addition. And we just touched up the tip. The tip had a little bit of you know, pitting and whatnot on it, and everything's good with this. So this will be a nice user screwdriver to put, you know, in addition to the other one we have. And Rob, thank you so much. This is really a good addition to the shop. Okay, once again, special thanks to Resto Rob. Go check out his channel. He does great stuff. Great guy. Thanks again, Rob. And it's about dinner time, so I'm going to go upstairs and then see how much video we shot already. I don't want to go crazy. And we'll be back in a minute. I just wanted to do a quick update of a little issue I ran into. Everything was going so good. Everything was going so good. And I go in to check this video that we did last week, Friday's video. And I click on it to see, to check the comments, to answer some comments, and I see a commercial. I'm like, what the heck? I freaked out because I was so proud of the fact that we never had commercials on this channel because, advertisements that is, because I'm non-monetized and I wanted it that way because I can't stand commercials, But I found out a few months ago that YouTube was going to start putting commercials on even non-monetized videos. So, very depressing for me. But I guess, they got to support and, somebody's got to pay for it. But it just bothers me, and I do apologize. There's nothing I could do. I tried everything to try and get those commercials wiped off. Cannot do. And they're putting it on all my videos, everything. And again, I'm non-monetized. And the reason I do that is because I sometimes put some, photos and things like that in here. And it's this, to stop any copyright strikes because I'm not getting paid for it. So it's, but it's like a fair use item. So if you don't pay, but it's tricky how that works. And I do apologize. It's not me. I did not cave in. And if I was going to do it, I would, make them just a skippable ad and pop up. So I don't know what they're going to do next. It's very depressing. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of a short one today. It's Easter Sunday today, and happy Easter to all of you that celebrate this holiday. And I'm sure that for those that don't celebrate this holiday, there's another one that takes place in place of this one. They all come about the same time. And holidays are great, aren't they? And today, of all days, Easter Sunday was always a big holiday for us. It was really nice because when we would get up, my mom would make a big breakfast, and then we'd have a little Easter egg hunt throughout the house. And you remember those little plastic eggs that kind of came apart in the middle? Well, my mom would fold up a dollar bill and put one in each egg, and she would hide about a dozen eggs throughout the house, and we'd have to go, searching to find them. And there'd be the couple that were easy to find, in the cushions of the couch, and then there would be some stuck in the lamp behind the lampshade, and it was it was always fun. When I got a little bit older and I started to hide the eggs from my nephew and niece, I was a little bit more, my egg. I was good at hiding eggs. I would put them in places they would never find. The litter box for the cats. And to this day there are still eggs that haven't been found, and it's pretty amazing. But I think back of those days, early days when I was younger, and we would all get dressed up, and I remember I wasn't too crazy about getting dressed up because I was a chubby kid, and Mom would have to kind of squeeze me into the husky size suit or whatever, and but then I'd have to stay in that for a while. But I remember back in the day when all the aunts and uncles and the grandparents were there, and everybody was kind of dressed up, and it was a big occasion. There was a lot of laughing going on. I do miss that. That was some good times. So, I'll head over to the cemetery today and pay my respects to everybody that's gone, and then come back and have a little dinner. But those are good times, and holidays are such a special time. And I'm sure you all have holidays that you remember with your family and your friends. But I always love to look back. I picked out some old pictures, photographs that we had, and how times have changed, how even how we dress and how we behave, and things have changed, and we all miss those old days, don't we? Those were some good times, and I hope you're making good times today for you and your family, and I hope you have a great and healthy and happy holiday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care now. Bye-bye.